Hello children, welcome to our class. It's the continuation of force and laws of motion. In that, we are going to learn about Galileo's observation. See, Galileo arrived at some important conclusion about motion of objects by observing their motion on an inclined plane. So let us perform an activity to know in a better way about what Galileo's observation, right?
Now, Galileo observed that when a small ball rolls down an ideal frictionless plane inclined on both sides, when the velocity of the ball goes on increasing due to unbalanced force of helping gravity. For the first case, when the inclination theta 1, that is right side and the left side, both is in the same, so that the distance covered by the ball before stopping is the same. So theta 1 which is equal to theta, right? When an angle of inclination of right side plane is reduced, see that time the distance covered by the ball before stopping will increase. See that ball, when an angle of inclination of the right side is reduced, because it just want to cover the height, right? If the right side plane were made horizontal, the ball would continue to travel forever, trying to reach the same height from which it is released. So this is because of the unbalanced force. Okay?
We observed that from the observations, Galileo concluded that an unbalanced external force is required to initiate the motion, but no unbalanced net force is needed to sustain the uniform motion. That means the objects move with a constant speed along a straight line when no force act on them, right? See, in actual practice, it is difficult to achieve the state of zero unbalanced force because of the presence of frictional forces which opposes the motion. So therefore, in the presence of frictional force, some external force is required to move object with constant speed along a straight line. Further, Newton's investigated the ideas put forth by Galileo regarding the motion of objects. See, he formulated three fundamental laws that govern the motion of objects. See, these three laws are known as Newton laws of motion. See, we can move on directly to the first law of motion. See, according to Newton's first law of motion, a body continues to be in a state of rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless some external unbalanced force is applied on the body to change the state. To know about the first law of motion, how it is getting related the things, we can see the activity to know better way.
See here, the coin stays on the index cord because the force applied to the cord was not greater than the frictional force. Now, the force applied to the cord was great enough to counteract. Once the cord was gone, gravity pulled the coin to the bottom of the glass. See, inertia is the resistance of an object to change in motion. See here, basically object at rest tends to stay at rest, right? Now the next one is, in this case an outside force acts on the object. Inertia still overcomes friction, so the balls stay in their vertical position.
Yes, by seeing the inertia video, that activity, you may now understand that what is first law of motion is connected with the inertia. How? Why we are calling it as the Newton's first law of motion, the law of inertia. So the inertia of a body is the inability of the body to change by itself its state of rest or state of uniform motion along a straight line. Right. So what are the three types of inertia? We have seen on the video also: inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. So inertia of rest. A body at rest continues to remain at rest until some external unbalanced forces applied on the body to move it. Right. See, we are seeing the picture, a book lying on a table. It just continues to lie there only till someone removes it. Right. Now, inertia of motion. A body in uniform motion continues to move uniformly unless an external forces applied to change its speed. Is it right? By seeing the picture, you can understand when a bus or train, whatever, stops suddenly, a person sitting inside tends to fall forward. See, this is because the lower part of his body comes to rest with the bus, but the upper part of the body tends to continue its motion due to the inertia of motion. Right. The next one is inertia of direction. A body moving along straight line will continue to move along this same straight line unless an external force is applied on the body to change its direction of motion. See the picture. When a car rounds a curve, suddenly a person sitting inside is thrown outward. This is because while the car turns, the person tries to maintain his original direction of motion due to the inertia of direction. What is the relation between inertia and mass? See, according to Newton's first law of motion, a body continues to be in a state of rest or in a state of uniform motion along a straight line unless an external force is applied on the body to change the state. That we know. Right. See, the law means that a body on its own cannot change its state of rest or state of uniform motion along a straight line. In other words, all objects can resist a change in their state, or the objects oppose the force that try to change their state. There's only this property what we call it as, and we see, yes, inertia. So that we can say the inertia of the body is measured by the magnitude of force which is required to change the state of the body. Is it right? Larger the force required to change the state of the body, greater is its inertia. So it is well known that when a body is heavy, force required to change its state is obviously large. Is it right? So therefore, the inertia of the body is also large. The mass of the body is a measure of inertia of the body. Larger the mass, what we say? Yes, greater its inertia. For example, we can see it is easier to push the empty box, right, than to push a box full of books. Imagine that. See, the box full of books has larger mass, so that it needs greater inertia as compared to the empty box, right? So inertia is the tendency of the body to maintain its state of rest or motion. Thank you, children.